Hello and welcome to another Edexcel iGCSE ICT past paper question. This is paper 2, the practical paper, May 2020, although this exam was actually done in November. So today we're going to have a look at the database part of the question. Now, when you get your exam paper, you must read it very, very carefully. It will be printed off and put on your desk. You must read this very, very carefully. Total marks for this paper out of 100. So go and have a look at the instructions for candidates there. And we can see that we need to print all work. As you work through the paper, you should be printing things off as you go. You should put your name on it and the task, okay? That is what you're going to hand it to the examiner. That is the really, really important bit. And we can see that this is part of section A, which is total of 50 marks, which includes the graphics, database and presentation part of the paper. So another thing that you need to read very carefully is the scenario, which you can see here. You can see the company Land Getaways and the owner Lucia there. So you read that carefully and you're going to need that later, and also the house style. We can see that we have to use the sans serif font for company name, and we have to put the logo in the bottom center. So we need to bear that in mind on all the documents that we create. So let's go and have a look at the question now. So just one thing, you need to have done the logo part of this before you attempt this. You need to have a logo. So my best advice is for your exam that you do the tasks in order. So you create the logo first. If you haven't got a logo, you're not going to have anything to put on the reports and the form that you're going to make. And that is going to reduce your marks. So if you haven't seen that video, I'll link to it above. Please check that out first, and then you can jump in and do this. So task A2, this is the database part of the question. Lucia has collected information about clients and their holiday accommodation. She saved the information in the database club details. Database has 3 tables. Let's go and have a look at that now. Okay, so you need to open this file. This is the database here. And we can see, just move this across, we can see that we've got 3 tables there. Accommodation, bookings and members. Okay, so if I go and have a look at database tools and relationships, I can actually see the database here. And we can notice that this is a relational database. We're not going to be put off by the fact that it's got 3 tables on there. It's got 3 tables because that's for a reason, and it's no different to having 2 tables. It's not any more complex the work that you're going to have to do, so that shouldn't put you off. There's 3 tables. There's a reason that there's 3 tables in there, and we can see that there's one-to-many relationships. So accommodation can have many bookings and members can make many bookings there. So this little infinity symbol, I believe, it means many. So that is a one-to-many relationship. So back to the thing, we've got some details here about the different tables. And it's worth just taking a moment to look at that. We can see that we've got lookups there. We can see that we've got yes, no. So that's a Boolean data type. And that is going to be a checkbox. That is either, do they want the breakfast package, yes or no? If they want it, they tick it. If they don't, then leave the box unticked. And then we can see the structure of the bookings table there and the members table. If we go back here, we can notice that we've got this. This is a primary key here, the little key, a primary key for accommodation ref. That is a unique identifier for accommodation, and we can see that it appears in bookings as a foreign key. Bookings also has its own primary key, but that doesn't appear in other tables. That's just on its own. But we can look at members. We can see member ref is the primary key there, and we can see that it appears also in the bookings table as a foreign key. So that's just a bit about that. It's worth taking a moment just to read that through carefully. I've linked to this paper in the description. You can have a look at it yourself. So first thing to do, and you must do this, all the boxes in grey are things that you need to do, okay, like to do. So I'm going to open myself Word up, okay. New word processing document. I want a new document, blank document, okay. Now it says orientation to landscape. Let's do that now. Okay, so we go to layout and we choose orientation and we choose landscape. Okay, it's thinking about it, just doing that now. Okay, while it does that, we'll go back to here. Enter your detail task A2, name, candidate number and center number into the header. Okay, really important now. Okay, please put task A2 there first. Okay, because it just makes it easier for your teacher and for the examiner. And then your details. Your details must, as I said, every single video, every single practical video that I've done, I've said that the personal details should be in the header, your name, candidate number, if you know it, and center number. Okay, if you don't know your candidate number, ask your teacher, ask the examiner, whoever's there, ask them, they can give you that. Okay, but please put your name on every piece of paper. This is your evidence, this shows it's your work. It's like signing it to say, I did the work. When it comes out the printer, it's going to be yours, okay? Close header and footer. I'm not going to bother typing all my details there. I'm just going to, that's what you do. I'm going to close header and footer. I'm good to go here, okay? Right, save the document as task A2. So I'll save that in a minute. Okay, we can do that in a moment. Right, let's go and look at the question. Lucille wants to use a form to add details, to add extra accommodation to the accommodation table. Open the club details database. Open the accommodation table. Let's go and do it. Right, we close that down. Okay, open the accommodation table. This is what we're going to make a form of here. If I open this up, by the way, you can see the link table there. Okay, so more on that later, but this is what I'm going to make my form of. Okay, so create a form, match the house style, suitable title, dark background and white text, include the date. Okay, let's go and do that. Right, we don't really need to have this open when we create the form, and it's a good idea to close that. Okay, so we go to create, and my advice to you is to use the form wizard. Okay, don't bother going through design. I'd use the wizard here. Right, so the accommodation table, yep, great, I want that. Double chevron there, all the fields into my form. Next, next. Right, here, I need to just read this carefully. It's got to be saved as accommodation underscore form, so I'm going to do that here. Underscore form. Modify the form's design. Finish. Then I'm ready to start, okay? So, it's going to match the house style. So, just a reminder, okay, it was the sans serif font that we need to put on there. We also need the logo, which we've already created. That has got to go in the bottom, in the center, which we'll do later on. So let's do the first thing, okay? We will do the title. Let's edit the title first. That's the easiest thing to do. I'm going to edit the title, okay? So I'm going to call it, now what should I call it? Well, I just call it accommodation form really, but make sure you spell it correctly. So have I spelt it correctly? There's two M's. I need to put another M in there, okay? Two C's, two M's. Great, okay? Make sure you spell it correctly. Don't misspell it. It looks really bad if you misspell it. Don't misspell it. Okay, match the house style. So that's sans serif font. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna make myself some space down here to put my logo in. I'm going to put that in a moment, not just yet. Okay. Dark background, white text. Let's deal with that now. So let's format, right click, okay, fill color, really dark background, okay, either dark gray, black, and dark blue, something like that. Okay, just to make it really obvious. Font, we want to change to white, okay. So go to home and I'm going to choose white font like that, okay. While I'm doing this, I can just have a little look at it. What does it look like? Okay, that looks looking good so far. I've got my dark background and white text there, great. Design view, okay, yeah, include the date. I need to put a date on this. So I'm going to put the date in the header, okay. So I'm going to put a date on there. So in design, date and time. Now I don't want the time, I just want the date, and I'm going to assume, unless I'm told otherwise, that it's long date there. I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to pop that in there. View, design, form view. Now it's very difficult to change the color of the date there. It's like a dark gray. If my header there was dark gray, I obviously wouldn't be able to see it, and there's not a lot I can do. So it's probably best to choose black for your header there, okay? Because that's going to work. I'm going to be able to read the date there, the dark gray. Back to design view there. Okay, done that. Include the date, done that. Okay, but I haven't done everything yet because I need to remember my house style. I've got to put my logo on there. So now I'm going to insert image. I'm just going to insert image and I'm going to browse to my logo. And you can see I've already made this logo. I'm going to choose that one and I'm going to put that in there. That needs to be bottom center. View, form view. That's okay. That will do. Okay. Back to design view. Okay. Save it as accommodation underscore form. I've done that. Okay. So now I can press save again to save my changes. And that is A2A. We'll move on to A2B now. A2B, Land Getaways has bought another lodge. Use the accommodation form you created in A2A to add these details to the accommodation table. Okay, so now I need to go back to the form and I need to go to view and I need to go to form view and I'm going to add the details. So remember, what I need to do is click on this button here to go to the last record. Then I clicked next to take me to the next record. And then I can add the details here that I've got. Accommodation ref L9, so let's pop that L9, okay. Accommodation type lodge. Accommodation name Quiet Waters. I've got to type this in and make sure I don't misspell it. Quiet Waters. Maximum guests 6. Accommodation rating gold. Location Cornwall. And Breakfast package, yes, I checked the box. Okay, that's that done. And what did it say? Print screen that, paste into A2. So we take a print screen of that, Control V, paste in. Okay, and you might want to just spend a moment just to crop it down, maybe get rid of some of that stuff there, but just be careful with your cropping, don't go overboard. We need to make sure we can mark it and see the evidence. Okay, that is absolutely fine. And then do not print at this stage, and that is A2B done. Okay, A2C, assort the accommodation table into alphabetical order by location. Let's do that now. So we open the accommodation table, not the form. Okay, and we need to sort it into alphabetical order by location. So let's go and do that now. So just simply click sort there, sort A to Z. Okay, alphabetical order. Okay, well, just want to be careful with this highlighting there. Just untick that. Just leave that like that. Print screen, and underneath I'm going to be pasting. That's going to go onto a new page. Okay, that is absolutely fine. That is A2C. Do not print at this stage. Task A2D. Lucille wants a list of accommodation that is in a year, available for 3 days and located in Cornwall. Create a query using the accommodation bookings table to produce the list. Save the query as yurt, screenshot it, etc. Right, let's go and do that now. So we close the accommodation table and we're going to go to create, and we're going to go to query design, and I want the accommodation and bookings tables on there. Okay, so the exam question has made it really clear the two tables I need. Okay, so I'm not going to use all the fields in the query. What I'm not going to do is double click on all the fields to get all the fields onto the query. Okay, that's a waste of time. I don't need to do that. I need to have, okay, in a year. So that is the accommodation type. Okay, that's where I'm going to get that from. Available for 3 days. So that is the number of days booked. I'm going to get that information from. And located in Cornwall, that is going to be location there. Okay, so now I can start putting the query together. So in a yurt, that is the accommodation type, and I'm going to type in yurt and run, and that's all the yurts there. Okay, back to design view. Look, notice that I'm taking it one bullet point at a time. So as I said, in all database questions, when you do a query, what you need to do is one bullet point at a time. Get the bullet point to work and then do the next bullet point. Because if you do all three at once and some part of it doesn't work, some part of it's gone wrong, you don't know what it is, and you've got to backtrack and it wastes time. Do it one bullet point at a time. So now I'm going to do available for 3 days. Okay, so days booking 3, run. Those are the 3 days. So now I need to narrow it down a bit further. Now I need to look at location. Okay, and I need to type in Cornwall. And I'm going to run that. And that is the query. Okay, save the query as yurt, screenshot of the query design. So click on save, type in yurt. Okay, view, design view, print screen, that into Word, new page, paste, and I'm going to label it A2D. Really important that I would put labels on each screenshot just to make life easier for the examiner. Why do we want to make life easier for the examiner? Because that person is going to give you your marks. So you want to make it easier because you want to make it easy for them to give you marks and show where the evidence is. So that's that done, but I don't print at this stage. The next part of the question, another 3 marks. Okay, the list must show only these fields in this order: accommodation ref, maximum guest, accommodation name, sorted in descending order of accommodation name. So I'm missing some fields here. Okay, so I need to add accommodation ref, needs to go in there now. So I don't need to see these fields in here. I'm going to uncheck these boxes. Maximum guests, so I need to put that on there now. Maximum guests and accommodation name. Now that is actually in the right order, in this order. Accommodation ref, maximum guest, accommodation name. I've done that. Accommodation ref, maximum guest, accommodation name. So I need to sort into descending order of accommodation name. Descending there. Okay. Display the ordered and sorted results of the query screenshot. Run. Okay. Perfect. Print screen. New page. Paste. Label A2D. Crop it if you want. Done. And that is completed. Do not print at this stage. That completes A2D. A2E. Open the accommodation bookings and members tables. This here wants a list of all clients who signed up to receive an e-letter and are booked to stay in a shepherd's hut or caravan. The list must show any of these fields in this order: member name, member ref, email, and sorted in descending order of accommodation ref. Create a query and save the query as e-letter query. So let's go and do that now. Go back to the database and we close the query. I'm going to save that, and I'm going to create and query design, and I'm going to put all 3 tables on. I'm just going to max out the size of it there. Okay, just max it out like that. Okay. All clients who signed up to receive an e-letter, booked to stay in the shepherd's hut or caravan. Okay, there's a few pitfalls with this question that we're going to go through. We go through it now. So let's start with e-letter. We'll put that on there. Okay, it's first part of the query. Now, booked to stay in a shepherd's hut or a caravan. So that's the accommodation type, and they've signed up for an e-letter. Then I need to show the fields in this order: member name, member ref, email, and be sorted into descending order of accommodation ref. So I need to put member name in there, member ref in this order, and email. I want that email in there as well, because obviously they're going to send them an e-letter. They need their email address. Be sorted in descending order of accommodation ref. So I also need to have accommodation ref in there as well. And the first thing is going to sort into descending order. So I'm only going to show these fields: member name, member ref, email. Okay, but before I get that to work, I'm just going to deal with the query first. So I want all the people who signed up to receive an e-letter. So let's do the e-letter bit first. Okay, e-letter criteria is yes, they want to receive an e-letter. Run. These are all the people who want to receive an e-letter. That's the first bit of it done. Remember, what I do is I take it one bullet point at a time, one bit at a time. Book to stay in a shepherd's hut or caravan. Okay, so accommodation type, you must spell this correctly. Apostrophe S. Okay, I don't think I've spelt that correctly. There's an extra H in there that I've missed out. Shepherd's hut or caravan. Now, because I've got that or in there, I need to put the yes in there twice like that. Now I'm going to run it. These are people that are booked to stay in the shepherd's hut or caravan and are going to get an e-letter. Great. Okay. Show only these fields in this order: member name, member ref, email. So let's do that now. Okay, back to design view. So we don't want to see that. We want to see member name, member ref, email, but we don't want to see accommodation ref. But we do want to sort into descending order of accommodation ref. So that needs to go to descending. Now I'm going to run that again. Okay, and that's what I should see. Now it says to save the queries, e-letter query. So let's go and save it now. And we click on the save button, and there's a specific way it wants to be saved: e-letter underscore query. Click OK. Okay, that is the first part of that done. Now I need to do a report. Now I recommend for a report that you do use the wizard. So I'm going to close that now. Now I'm going to click on create, and I'm going to use the wizard. I'm going to go to report wizard, and you must select the e-letter query here. All these fields on there. Next, next. Don't need to sort that, it's already sorted. Next, next. I need to name it now. It needs to be called e-letter underscore report. Okay, so I need to change query to report. Modify the report's design because I haven't finished it. It's not done yet. Okay, right. The database report must match house style fit on one page and, right, one point at a time. Okay, so let's put a suitable title in there. Customers who have signed up for e-letter. And I need to make the background, I'm going to change that to black, and I'm going to change the font color here to white. Okay, because the house style said that it's going to have a black background there, a dark background, and I'm going to change that to white, sans serif font. Okay, fit on one page and have a suitable title. Yep, include the logo. Remember, the logo goes in the bottom. So I'm going to create some space. I'm going to put it in the footer. I'm not going to put it in the detail there because that's going to give me a headache with alignment. So I'm going to pop it down there. Okay, I'm going to pop it in the footer. I'm going to go to, okay, design, and I'm going to insert logo. I'm going to browse to my logo there, okay, and I'll make it a bit bigger there. Include the image you saved in Caravan 2. So this is the image we made in the graphics question last. So if you haven't done that, you need to go back and look at that video, because I need to make a bit more space down here. I need to move these two guys down and this one down. I need to put the image in there, okay? So insert image, and I need to go back to the image I made, Caravan 2, that's got to go on there as well, okay? Show only the required fields, yes. Field sort is required, yes. Name, candidate number, centre number in the footer. Right, let's deal with that now. Okay, we don't need this and now. Get rid of that. Now I'm going to put a label on there, okay, to be able to put my name and details there. So remember, use a label, put it in the footer. Do not take a screenshot of it and write your name on Word. Do it in the actual report. You will lose marks if you try and just take a screenshot and put it in Word and do it that way. You're going to lose marks, okay? So do it this way. It's really important. So I put my name and details on the footer. One side of A4, easy to read. Save the report as e-letter report or print it. You're going to be printing this, okay? Let's go and have a look at that. View, and we'll go to print preview. This is what it's going to have, okay? It should say page 1 of 1. If it says page 1 of 2, you've got a bit of a problem, and you're going to have to spend some time to rearrange it and just to pull everything in and try and get that onto one page. It should be portrait like this. It shouldn't be landscape, and if you find any issues with it, then you need to spend some time to arrange it. So what I could do is perhaps make that close print preview. I could perhaps make my image a bit bigger there. Okay, might want to make that a bit bigger. As long as it's on there, that is okay. That will do. And then what I need to do now is to go back to print preview, and I need to go to file, and I need to actually print this off. Okay, so I click on the print button there, and I choose my print server, and just make sure that my name is visible at the bottom, and I can press print. I'm ready to go. Okay, I can print that off. That will come out of the printer, and that is good to go there. So save and print that, and that is 8 marks there, and that is that question finished. So that is that question wrapped up there, and that finishes A2E. Task A2F, answer these questions in the document A2. So you're going to go and type into the document. I'm just going to type on the paper because it's easier than just copying and pasting and just switching between windows. Address 1, address 2, postcode, telephone number and gender are fields that could be added to the members database. One field that we use a format check. Okay, so we need to think what would use a format check? What would check the format of the way it's entered? And the only thing on that is postcode. So postcode has to be in a certain format, and for British postcodes, that's in a certain format. Usually for most postcodes throughout the world. Postcode identifies a unique area of the city or town where you're in. So the answer is postcode. That has to be in a specific format, and that needs a format check. State one field that would use lookup. Okay, the only possible lookup we could have there, gender. So gender could be a lookup. So lookup is where we select a value from a list. So the only possible one that is applicable to there is gender. The image shows the properties and values for the accommodation type field in the accommodation table. Okay, so properties and values there. Limit to list, yes, has been highlighted. What does that actually mean? Limit to list means that you're limited to the list that you've got, and you cannot add anything else. You can only select an option from the list. So explain one problem that could occur if limit to list property of no. Problem is, if that is selected to no, the user could choose their own option, choose or type in their own option. So if you hadn't limited to the list there that you've been given, so yurt, caravan, lodge, shepherd's hut, they could type in their own option. For example, something ridiculous, or I don't want to stay in any of those. I want to stay in a hotel. So they type in hotel there, okay, which messes up your data. So 4, state reason why a query may require a logical operator. The reason is to make a comparison with another value. So it's making a comparison there, less than, greater than. For example, it's making a comparison with another value. So another value within the query. The 3 tables within the club details database form a relationship one reason why tables are linked together, the relationship before entering data. So this is saying why a relational database? To avoid data duplication. The whole point of a relational database is to avoid data duplication. That's a whole reason to be of a relational database, to avoid data duplication. Identify one foreign key in the linked tables. We can go back and just close that for a moment and save that, and let's just go and have a look at that. So we go to database tools to find that out. A foreign key could be accommodation ref, or we could have member ref. Either of those work. I'm going to choose accommodation ref because that's the first one I saw. 2 M's. And make sure we spell it correctly. Okay. Is it a capital? It's just REF, space REF. Okay. And that finishes the database question. That finishes A2F and A2 indeed. A total of 26 marks. So big thank you for watching. I will do more of this paper. Please like and subscribe. Please spread the word. I want to get to over 1,000 subscribers. So I need your help. If you haven't already subscribed, please do that now. Please give a like. Please give a comment. How did you get on with this question? Try it out yourself. Any comments? I'm always really grateful to receive your comments. So please let me know in the comment section how you got on. And big thank you again for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.